Hi, welcome again to the Liftinstituut Expert Sessions. In this video series, Liftinstituut, as a safety-driven organization, will share its knowledge and expertise with you. And today we'll be talking about integral safety. And with us is the Liftinstituut's Marketing Director, Marjon Oosting. Welcome.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. I will start by asking the question everyone wants to know, which is how safe is an elevator or escalator?
Well, that's a really good question, of course. I mean, safety is something we have in our heads. We think about, well, when do you feel safe? When do you feel safe, Kevin?
Normally just standing on flat ground that isn't moving is a good baseline for that.
Yeah, okay. So actually, safety is the absence of risk, probably,
Sure.
right? I mean, if you're on a safe, steady ground, you don't feel any risk coming towards you.
Right.
But then again, I mean, if you cross the streets, there are a lot of risks coming up.
Definitely.
So we're trying to see safety as a minimalization of risks. That's actually what's happening. So if you're asking the question if escalators and elevators are safe, I would say yes. But then there's three things we need to think about with risk minimalization. The first thing is maintenance. We're talking about objects that's moving up and down, as you see with escalators and elevators. So there's maintenance that has to be done properly. The same thing counts for inspections. We talked in another session about. It needs to be done properly as well. So those things, then you are talking about technical safety.
Sure.
When they're done properly, you could say an elevator is safe.
Right.
But there's only one extra thing that we need to take in account, and that's passenger behavior. That's something that you and me, as passengers of lifts and escalators and elevators, we need to take it into account as well. I mean, if you move on an escalator, how would you behave? On
an escalator, I tend to walk fast. I tend to be one of those people who, all right, well, the escalator gives me an advantage, but I'm going to keep walking to go, let's get where I'm going. That's my attitude. Yeah, okay. So
would you have a look at your cell phone?
Almost certainly, yes.
So those two things you just mentioned, we would say we would not advise you to do that.
Recommended, yes.
Yeah, recommended to you. Because, I mean, it's a moving obstacle.
Yeah.
You would stand up on it. We would advise you to hold the handrails. Wash hands afterwards, no problem.
Sure.
Make sure your hands are clean again. But then, and also not watch your cell phone, because if there's an accident happening from it, you would wanted to see it coming.
Right.
And in the luckily event somebody pushes the button to stop the escalator, you would want to know that it's happening, and you want to hold something.
You want to be ready for that.
The thing is, you don't want to fall off an escalator because it's metal, so it's gonna hurt.
Right. Would you say passenger behavior is the bigger factor compared to a technical failure when it comes to an elevator or escalator?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's something we are in control of, but as a safety organization, as Liftinstituut is, we see a lot of accidents happening. Some small injuries, but also the bigger ones.
Sure.
And a lot of times we see that passenger behavior is one of the bigger things causing it. But then an accident is always what we call it the Swiss cheese thing, and it's known, of course, but you know, there's a couple of things happening at the same time.
Sure, yeah. There's usually a confluence of multiple things go wrong in just the right way, and that is what causes an accident.
And it's bad luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, if you can keep away one of those factors, you would say, I mean, it wouldn't be happening.
If I had just held on to that handrail, then that might not have happened.
So we see a lot of those accidents to happen if people don't know how they could have prevented it.
Right, yeah, and often there's something that passengers can do themselves to ensure their own safety.
Right.
Yeah, what are some examples of ways that passengers can have contributed to accidents or can avoid accidents? I've got not looking at my cell phone and holding a handrail. Those are all very good, but what else can go wrong?
Well, when we're talking about escalators, I would just go on that. I would say the clothing, if you're wearing a long skirt, or your laces, your shoelaces, They need to be stuck. So they can be stuck.
Sure.
So if they're hanging over your shoe and they could get into the stairs of an escalator.
Right. Yes.
So
I've been scared of that since I was 5 years old.
Yeah,
So
you don't want that to happen because in the end it's a machine and it goes on and on.
right.
If somebody pushes the button to stop it, it would
Sure.
stop. But then, I mean, nobody hardly or anyone knows about that button being there. So
Right.
you really don't want your shoelaces to get into the escalator.
Absolutely.
Loose clothes, scarves, those things, you just want to keep it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand we have some example videos of what not to do, or just examples of where things have gone awry. Yes.
Yeah, we do. We have them on our website.
Oh, good.
But then there's also elevators, of course.
Yeah.
Elevators, the chance you get stuck into an elevator is quite big. It's in Holland, it's about 25% that it happens.
Okay.
And people don't know what to do when it's stuck in an elevator. You don't have to do anything; you just have to wait. That's our advice. But then people want to do something. They want to
Yes.
open the doors, for example.
They've seen the movies where people wriggle their way out of the elevator, but I'm on your side. I've seen the movies where people try to do that, and then horror movie scenarios happen. So I'm in favor of staying in place.
Yeah, stay in place. That's the only thing. Wait for help. You can push the button, an alarm button.
Yeah. And just to be clear, 25% doesn't mean out of every 4 times I use the elevator, 1 time I will be stuck, right?
No,
Because
it's
I've
not-
been very lucky if that's the case.
No, it's just people. I mean, there's people who have been stuck more than once, so
sure.
it higher the chance of getting stuck. But then it's not a definition that you will get stuck the next time into an elevator. Of course not. And
That's a relief.
it's also in Holland, so it's not for worldwide.
Sure, absolutely. Shall we watch these example videos that we have?
Yeah, we could have a look at them.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's
I've been
go.
looking forward to this.
Alles ontploft in je hoofd, bij wijze van spreken. Want je wil zoveel tegelijkertijd doen, alleen om je kind te beschermen. We waren naar een kinderpretparkje geweest hier in de buurt. En we zouden nog eventjes hier een hapje eten in het appartementencomplex. We stappen de lift in, vervolgens gaan we naar boven. En op dat moment steekt mijn zoontje zijn hand op de liftdeur. Dus vervolgens wordt hij helemaal meegetrokken naar binnen, tot halverwege zijn onderarm. En dan zakt letterlijk de grond onder je voeten vandaan. Je gaat gelijk op zoek naar hoe krijg ik hem eruit. Ja, dat armpje zit muurvast. Je kan niet zoveel, dus dat is wel even paniekje. Je moet heel veel dingen tegelijk doen. Alarmeren van natuurlijk 1 en 2. Je moet je zoontje rustig houden. En je moet op zoek naar objecten die je zomaar ergens vandaan moet toveren. Uiteindelijk hebben we hem na 6 minuten eruit gekregen door het gebruik van een klauwhamer. En toen kon er een stalen pijp kregen we ertussen. En daarmee konden we uiteindelijk de deur zo ver open maken dat hij voldoende spelingsruimte had om zijn armpje eruit te tillen. Wat wij nu doen is kinderen aan de hand mee de lift innemen. Die zetten we achter in de lift en dan bedienen wij de lift en dan staan we ook tussen hen en de liftdeur in.
Attentie, attentie. Onze roltrap is gek op sjaals, modieuze jassen, losse veters en lange kleding. Kijk op roltrapveilig.nl. Attentie, attentie. Speciaal voor 65-plussers met scootmobielen en rollators. Neem de lift. Kijk op roltrapveilig.nl.
That is amazing. Thank you for making those videos, variety of tones and so forth. And so I'm glad that Lift Institute has done that to encourage passenger behavior to, in a certain way. What other ways is Lift Institute encouraging the expansion of the safe behavior?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. I mean, these videos we made during for our Safety Awareness Week, and it's actually an event we do every year for 7 years right now.
Sure.
And we organize the event and also try to include the industry with these problems. I mean, if these accidents happen, some really serious ones, also with the small hands of children, for example,
sure.
as you saw in the video, we would want the industry to think about that as well. So we're organizing an event for the industry, for the passengers, so that they're aware. And we're trying to influence them through all our channels, like social media, offline and online, of course, at sites sometimes as well. We'll go to an escalator or an elevator and say, okay, have you thought about the risks over here? It's very interesting.
Yeah, and I know Safety Awareness Week has been going 7 years in the Netherlands, and that's fantastic. Is that expanded in other countries as well?
Yeah, we actually were looking for a way to organize this, and we saw that in the US it's already for a long time, since 1991, and it's the organization called EESF.
Okay.
And actually we looked at them and saw really good work there.
That's great.
So it's actually coming from the US. And also we know that there's a Safety Awareness Week or sort of something like that in Korea as well. So other countries do organize this as well.
That's great. And what else does Lift Institute do, or what else can be done besides the Safety Awareness Week to expand awareness?
Yeah, it's tell your friends. I mean, if you know the risks, it's a daily thing. You use escalators and elevators on a daily basis.
Sure.
I mean, if you tell your family and friends, if you go with your children on an escalator, hold their hands, stuff like that. Just have a look at our website. You saw it on the video as well.
Right.
And but if you want to join us, feel free to reach out for any materials as well. We can send it over. We'll be helpful or willing to help as well.
Yeah, and there's any number of safety organizations that might be interested in this sort of thing. And we live in a social media age. People can share that video or this video on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us, Marjon, and thank you for watching at home. In the next video in our series, we'll be talking about Brexit, believe it or not, and how it has affected the elevator and escalator industry. And we'll see you then.